Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this. All right, so the pick is in.
Yeah.
According to Shams Charania, he said sources after seriously debating Scoot Henderson and Brandon Miller, Charlotte is selecting Miller at number 2, which is a killer for my Bet Rivers bankroll. But you got Brandon Miller at number 2, Henson. It was your guy. He's gone off the board.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to go. Historically, I think RC brought up a good point. What guard has led his team to this? More forwards in the mold of Brandon Miller have led their teams to winning than guards like Scoot, which isn't indictment on Scoot. But now it gets interesting because what's Portland going to do? With Dame, they're going to trade. Are they going to bring him in? So now the draft has started.
Yeah,
no question. I mean, I thought that should have been the pick, and I'm sure it was close because of the excitement of what Scoot could bring. But I thought Brandon Miller, if I was Charlotte, I thought that would have been the safe best pick.
He's the best positional fit. I think that's another thing. Look, there's no loser here. I just feel like because of what Scoot brings from a body size perspective, his ability to get to the rim from day one, I think he just has another gear compared to what I think Brandon Miller is going to have to be a second option.
So let's talk about what he can be as a player, Brandon Miller, because we saw him at Alabama. He is an elite shot maker. He is a guy that has that positional size, 6'9", and I think there's a level of toughness there. I think there's a level of physicality there. My biggest question with him is, will he be anything more than a catch and shoot guy in the league? I don't know if he's got enough, shit to him off the bounce. I don't know if he has kind of the Paul George kind of isolation scorer, isolation playmaker in his range of outcomes. But when you're 6'8" and a guy that can shoot it the way that he could shoot it, you got to bet on that, right, RC?
I think he handles it better than you give him credit for, in a sense. I mean, I don't think there's many Paul Georges out there at 6'8", 6'9" anyway. I mean, PG can be your point. That's why he's so highly regarded. But I think he's good enough to create, good enough to come off ball screens and make plays. So you have to take that. And again, you can't put so many resources in your point guard spot. You drafted Melo in the first round, and LaMelo, when you got to make that work. You're selling the team and you're taking over a team. Give me Brandon Miller. I got size in my backcourt. I got versatility in my backcourt. And then let's try to figure out what my other frontline guys are doing.
He definitely can handle that thing. I mean, we saw him, he's got the crosses over. He's got the hezzies. He can finish with the left, right. I think he's a lot more competent off the dribble than people know. And then, him going to certain organizations, you worry sometimes like Charlotte, do they have a track record of developing guys, right? Like, what's their player development there? And I think my guy Marvin Williams is there, but, like what are they going to, now it's time to develop him and mold him into what you guys want and support him being a number 2 pick. But the organization has to support that pick and try to build with, around, and support him. So hopefully they do that as well. Charlotte's a little shaky organizational-wise. It's a lot of transition, a lot of turnover. So hopefully they do the right thing by him, man.
I think the best thing they're going to do is get somebody else running the thing.
That's true.
All right,
that's the biggest thing. Like, the best thing they're going to do is get somebody else running it. And I'm happy. Look, I'm happy for Brandon Miller. I can't remember if I said this or not, Dauster, but I said he would be the first SEC player drafted in this year's draft preseason last year. Just a humble brag. That did happen. And you picked Nick Smith. I don't know where he's at. Thank you. I'll take it. But look, he's really talented. It's a matter of how he's going to be able to do with the ball in his hands. Can he be that primary option? And I think the Hornets are banking on him being able to be that guy at certain points of the game. If you're picking him number 2, like, he's got to be able to create something on his own at the end of the shot clock in the playoffs when the game slows down to a crawl. Like, that's where you wonder, can, Miller be able to do that? I think eventually he could. And I think the fact that he's going to be able to play off his jump shot to start with is going to help those things. But he's not this dynamic, slow to fast guy that Paul George is. I would say he's a better shooter, though. So maybe he'll be able to get guys to close out a little tighter, and then he can attack that way. But if you're the number 2 pick in the draft, you're being banked on to create something at the end of the clock during playoff time.
Yeah. Well, not when they got a guy already there that does that. They're going to put the ball in LaMelo's hand. And he just has to do – his strength is catching and shooting. Now, they may – to him in certain areas and certain, switches and mid posts and using the size and length, but they don't have to give him the ball day one and say, go make a play for him.
So let me ask you guys this. He said yesterday that Paul George is his GOAT. It's not Michael Jordan. It's not LeBron. He said Paul George is his GOAT. And that moved him like 6 spots down my top 100 draft board. Like, he clearly doesn't know ball. Are you worried about that at all? Does that concern you?
One thing that I was talking to my guy.
A ton of guys love him. Players, college players, kids, they love Paul George.
It's a lot of kids, the best kids that they found watch the game of basketball. So that does worry me a little bit. I mean, maybe he was talking in jest and trying to be funny, like, hey, that's who he wants to be. Because when you are getting drafted, agents do tell you to say certain things and try to, this is what you want to be, then say that. And so I don't know if I believe he really believes that, but that kind of does scare me. Like, does he watch games at home when he's chilling by himself? I think that's the biggest thing that kids don't do nowadays that people used to, I did, at least in my kind of generation before. And I'm sure RC, you watch hoop all the time. Kids don't do it no more, man. They're playing Fortnite.
What do we think about this plaid suit? It's important.
Our partner for today's episode is Athletic Greens. I started taking AG1 during the college basketball season, and I loved the impact that it had on my energy levels. I'm a big coffee in the morning guy, but by the time that the afternoon would hit, I needed another boost. AG1 helped me tremendously, especially on those days when I didn't want to get up off the couch and go hit the gym. Their tagline is AG1 is comprehensive health and the power of habit in one. And man, that could not be more true. It's nearly impossible to eat and drink in a healthy manner in the month of February and the month of March when you are in my business. And AG1 was exactly the supplement that I needed to improve my gut health and cover my nutritional basis for the day. I've continued that into April. I've continued that into May, and I'm going to continue that the rest of the summer. All I have to do is mix a scoop of AG1 with some water, or maybe add it into a smoothie, and I'm ready to go. Do it after lunch, and you'll be ready to go for the rest of the day. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/field68. That's field 68 FIELD, the number 6, the number 8, and you can get yours now. So check it out and help support this show. Thanks. Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.